Howdy, howdy. We are live and we are here to talk about our recent away mission to Star Trek Mission Chicago. I'm joined by Starfleet Boy and Braxton, my good friends who I was just hanging out with for a whole weekend. How are y'all doing today?
We all got a piece of the action.
In Chicago town,
Yeah, we're sure
Chicagoland.
in Chicagoland.
I didn't know they called it Chicagoland, but yeah, they
Yeah, I
said that
learned
a
that.
lot while we was over there.
hmm Yeah,
Piece of
that's
the
weird. I
action.
wonder why they call it Chicagoland. Hmm.
I
Because
don't
it's
know.
a land.
It's probably like an old school
The Kingdom of
terminology.
Chicago.
I
Hmm.
guess we should
It
ask Dan Co. He might be the
Yeah, he
one to
might know.
know.
it is a
The
very large and populated area. Like as we were flying out, I was looking at the city from above, and like, gosh, there's just like, such a big city, dude. There's just like houses everywhere.
It's very spread out. It's not like New York where everything's stacked on top of itself. It's kind of like spread out like L.A.
Hmm
But yeah, I'd never spent much time there. I didn't spend a ton of time in the city, but we were so busy at the convention. So I guess that's what we should talk about.
Yeah.
I do have some images for those of y'all that are out there watching this. I'm going to be sharing those, and you can kind of follow along. I guess I'll just kind of recap the 3 days of the convention, um, and we'll talk about things like the vendors that were there, the panels that were there, some of the exclusive content we got to see, and then some of the fun experiences we got to have. I know a lot of
hmm
it for me. A big thing was meeting a lot of people. And if y'all have some input to throw in, just go ahead and interrupt me at any time and chime in. But I think the common experience I heard a lot of people point out was that after 2 years of the COVID pandemic and so many of us in the fandom connecting to each other online, and like us participating in each other's content, and just people being more active on social media, and all these new shows coming out and everyone talking about them to each other, and then actually getting to be in the same physical location. It was really a kind of a once in a lifetime experience where you've accumulated all these the shared experience with all these people, and then you finally get to come face to face with so many of them.
hmm
I don't know, what do y'all think about that?
I think that's exactly. I think you nailed it. It was just refreshing to be out somewhere, and what better place for a Star Trek fan than Star Trek Mission Chicago? And also, I'm still kind of processing a lot of it, but it's really amazing that when you've been speaking to someone for many, many years, like my Twitter presence on Star Trek Twitter is, I think, like 6 years now. And, so there's a lot of people from the beginning, from 6 years ago, that I've been talking to online that I've been dying to meet. And I never went to STLV or the cruise. So this was my first, like, big Star Trek gathering, and so I met everyone. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people,
A
and it was
lot of people.
wild.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of
it
people
was
were there.
really wild. It was wild and cool, and I have to say, like, Patrick Patterson, Dr. Patrick Patterson, our friend, he like did a tweet that summed it up well. It's like you never know what it's going to be like to meet someone in person that you've been communicating with online. From 2D to 3D supposedly, and I have to say, for me, every single person, it was just a delight, and it felt natural. Like there was no awkward thing, especially us, this group here.
Right.
There's like it's as if we like just went out the door and went, drove down the street and hung out.
we're,
Like it
we're so
didn't
used to talking to each
to
other
each
face
other.
to
Yeah,
face through the screen that, yeah, it felt just as natural.
right.
I didn't feel like I was, meeting y'all for the first time. I felt like, oh yeah, I've been hanging out with these dudes for a long time now, and like even now, it feels like when we said goodbye over the weekend, it felt like, oh well, I'm just gonna see them again soon. Here we are Tuesday, and I feel like I'm already, back in the same room with you. But
Yeah, totally,
Dan
totally.
Co is here, so Dan, can you tell us where the term Chicagoland originated? Because I'd never heard that before. I actually was there this weekend. So what's the origin of that, if you can let us know?
Hmm.
But let's just start talking about, the convention. Day one, April 8th, back on Friday. It was a 3-day con, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And if you're following along on screen, I actually have this is the picture of the main door to get in. Wasn't quite as many people there Friday as there was Saturday, but that was mainly just me and you hanging out. We were waiting on Braxton and our other friend Trek on the Tube to show up. So it was mainly just me and Starfleet Boy. But yeah, I was wearing my captain's vest from First Contact. And I don't know about you, Starfleet Boy, but one of the first things I noticed when I walked in was they had some vendor booths set up in the show floor, and we had the Exo 6 figures, those fan sets I just had on screen. But the one that like you were really into was the
Volanti.
That's how you say it. The Volanti designs.
Yeah, I have my jacket right here on my chair. I'm not wearing it right now, but I love their designs very much.
Yeah,
Dude,
so
didn't you buy 2 of those?
I bought 2, yeah.
only two.
Yes, only 2.
You
Father
bought
thought
a
I was gonna buy a
raincoat and a
third one.
jacket.
What's that?
You bought a raincoat and a jacket.
I bought a Monster Maroon styled after the Monster Maroon raincoat, and then I bought a styled after the TNG uniform
I thought
jacket.
it was a Picard uniform.
No,
The
this one's
Picard
styled. I
season
think
one.
I'm pretty sure it's styled after. This one was TNG. It has the TNG triangle on the bottom part, the little
Okay.
triangle part that comes up. So yeah.
But yeah, they're not like screen accurate uniforms. They're like practical jackets that look very similar to the uniforms, but they're officially licensed.
So
Yeah,
that's a
exactly.
Yolante design?
Yes, that's the place.
Okay.
And science division, that's actually the science division lady over there looking at the Volante design stuff.
By the
But
way, before you do go back, I didn't get to go like really hang out with the science division folks, but before you leave the Volante thing, just one thing I want to say is like I appreciated these vendors being out here because I've been admiring this stuff like on their online store and like whenever they advertise it through Star Trek and stuff like that. But for me personally, it's hard to know just by looking online or just by the sizes how the fit is gonna be, how it's gonna look and everything. And it's such a process if you order something, especially an expensive item, if you order it and then you have to ship it back and then order a new one. So I really appreciate it.
well, Blue
Thank you.
Spheric appreciated it apparently. And Blue, I think I
Dude,
have
are
a
you
picture of
gonna
him somewhere in here wearing
are
one
you
of
gonna get
those.
your jackets tailored at
I
all?
am. So now that I have them, I'm going to have them fitted a little bit better and stuff like that. That's another nice thing about grabbing these are, by the way, these are handmade items
Oh wow.
here in the United States. Their main shop is in their main headquarters are in Massachusetts, and then they sometimes will use the what is it called, the district in New York, wherever the garment district. They'll use tailors from the garment district in New York to do the work as well. So yeah, the nice thing about clothing like that is that there's room to take things in and room to take things out, because it's tailored properly, and it already felt pretty good. I mean, I got a slightly larger size. Oh, look at that, that's cool. I got a slightly larger size for the raincoat, so I could wear, when I go to Seattle, I can wear a sweater underneath if it's
Wear
cold
stuff under
outside.
it.
Well, hopefully
Yeah.
it ain't raining.
Yeah, in
still
May it should be
in
pretty
late
warm,
May.
actually.
It should
Yeah,
be
it
good
should be
weather.
pretty
I'm
warm.
glad you mentioned Seattle. I want to talk about that in a moment.
Sure.
But yeah, the science division triples were there. People should go check out their website, sciencediv.com, if you're
Yep.
interested in those. If you check out the live stream we did Saturday from Chicago, where you can actually see the first in-person meeting between Starfleet Boy and Trek on the Tube. But we actually talked to them a little bit and get some details on their triples. This was another interesting thing I wasn't expecting to see, but the Strange New World boots that you could get.
Dude, those boots were I thought they were cool, but they're kind of gnarly looking, like they're very much like, uniform boots. You can't like wear those casually.
Yeah, these are for the hardcore cosplayers that want the screen accurate gear. So they're
Yeah.
pricey, but I mean they're going to be high quality. They're going to be the actual boots that they use on the shows. Or
When I was out there, a friend of mine, the designer, what's the name of the designer again? Father, it's John
Fluavog, I think.
Fluvog. Yeah, thank you. Someone randomly, not even doesn't even watch Star Trek, saw like a little press thing about it, and instantly messaged me. So apparently, John Fluog is an amazing designer that's respected by a lot of people, and so it's kind of a coup to have them doing the Star Trek stuff. Because it was funny, they were sending me these things, and then I sent back a picture of the actual one, and they were like, it was like perfect timing. So I was like, look, I can see one, I can hold one. I'm right here. I actually did not. I was very tempted to get fitted for a boot to see how it looked and felt, but I actually did not end up doing it. But now I kind of regret it.
But yeah, those are some examples of the more high end vendors that were there. But there were a lot of people just peddling old merchandise, things like toys, autographs, pictures that have already been signed by some of the Trek actors.
Hmm.
If you've never been to a convention like this before, that's where you can pick up a lot of things like that. So you can definitely do a lot of shopping, spend a lot of money, and bring home a lot of goodies if that's your thing.
Like Starfleet Boy.
Yeah, Starfleet Boy found a few cool things to take home.
Starfleet Boy went a little nuts, let's just say.
One of the things you did get was a birthday gift for me that I really appreciate. That I don't know how to look with my green screen.
Oh yeah,
But
look at
it's a
that.
schematic of the Discovery season 1 and 2 phaser.
Dude, that's such a good gift, dude. I love that.
Yeah, I still need to find a spot to hang it up on the wall.
Happy birthday.
You're also wearing one of the official shirts that they had for the con.
Yep.
The
This
Piece of
is the one
Action
with
shirt.
Kirk and Spock from A Piece of the Action.
And-
And then earlier on, I was wearing the official art-looking one with the Enterprise D flying over the bean. And look, there's yours. I've got mine somewhere too.
Here's the Geordie bear that is gonna.
You're not gonna unwrap your
Not
Geordie
great.
Bear, Father? Or are you doing it on here on the show?
I'm gonna give it as a gift to someone who
Oh.
asked me to pick one up. She
Yeah,
lives
very
here in
nice.
Austin, so I snatched that for her. And the cool thing about the convention being officially licensed by Paramount is that they can use assets from the shows, like having these. I don't know. You wouldn't call them props, the skulls from Picard, the set dressing. But yeah, we saw this in the second episode of season 2, and now we had the opportunity to see it up close. They also had a lot of strange new world stuff on display.
I
And
would
there is
call those-
Starfleet Boy in his jacket.
There I am. I wouldn't
Will you
call
go
them
back
props
really
either.
fast?
What's that? Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't call them props either. I'd call them works of art. They're beautiful.
I did not notice that there were weapons like below the skulls. I never noticed that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, there's like the Grand Nagus has the Ferengi staff, and then there's a duck tog for Martok, an Edict necklace for Sarek, and a Borg battle gauntlet, we'll call it, for the Borg,
Mhm.
one of two.
That's cool. I didn't notice that.
Yep, Picard likes his trophies to be very gilded. But
Yeah,
this
so-
was very cool that they brought these out. I think they were the ones used on screen. Actually, they looked really insanely detailed and beautiful.
Yeah,
Dude,
and that's
we
one of
need
the things they've done with the cruise I went on in 2018. Had a bunch of like Discovery season 1 like Klingon weapons and Starfleet uniforms and stuff, and then they brought a bunch of stuff to Vegas in 2019, right before Picard season 1 premiered. They got the stuff from like the Picard's archive, like his trophies and stuff. So the official conventions often have those assets from the shows they can show off. What were you saying, Braxton?
Oh no, I was gonna say to give Starfleet Boys new raincoat. It's flowers, dude. Let's see it one more time.
Thank you.
For
I'm
all
very
those
proud.
rainy Miami days.
Can I just say it was worth it because I knew I was gonna wear it. I only had budgeted for one photo op this time, and also just because of the way that the timing worked out. So I thought this would be a good one to do because if William Shatner likes it, like, it'll give him a little smile or something. And it
Yeah.
did. When I walked in, he was like staring at me as I walked up to the position where you're supposed to stand and smiling, and he kept like looking me up and down, and then he said very nice, and then he turned around and looked at the camera.
You impressed
But
Captain
I
Kirk.
I said I was aiming to delight him. I at least made him curious, so I was very happy, about that.
But another big part of the conventions, at least for me, one of the things I look most forward to are the panels. I don't these days I don't spend a lot of time, doing the autographs or the photo ops because I think there's so much stuff to do instead of waiting in line for that. I like going to the Q&A panels and getting to ask these actors questions. And one of the things that they did on the stage is they had the Star Trek themed band Warp 5 performing between panels, so that was entertaining. I'll have some pictures in here in a moment, but Tawny Newsome, Beckett Mariner herself, got on stage and sang some Psycho Killer. That's who's that? Talking Heads.
Yep.
Yeah, the Talking
Psycho
Heads song,
Killer.
Psycho Killer.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
I have footage of that I haven't posted yet, so that'll be coming
Why don't you
soon.
debut it here on Tex-Trek, Father?
Well, I have special plans for it, but people will see it soon.
Okay, very good.
The first big panel we went to on that first day was Will Wheaton.
Yep.
And the cool thing about him is that a lot of the Star Trek conventions I've been to are creation cons, and he doesn't work with creation. So because this was put on by Reed Pop, I was able to see him here. And Starfleet Boy and I, the whole time we were running into people we know from online, but that included
Heather Ray.
our friend,
Shout out to Batleth
Heather
Babe.
You can follow her at Bathleth Babe.
That's a nice picture.
They have this timeline chart on display
very cool.
right outside the show floor. You can find this timeline on the Star Trek official website. Some merch that was there. I like the little tiki. What do you call these? The geeky tikis.
Yeah, that was at the Trek Unlimited booth, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, which it was cool to see them too in person. I have their Tom Paris plate, of course, and they have a lot of good stuff. I meant to go back and get a tiki mug.
Me too. I wanted to get a Kirk, a Magato, and replace my Spock that broke recently. But I totally forgot to come back to this booth. I had room in my suitcase and everything.
That's one of the things you can order online and feel confident it's going to
Yes.
look cool and stuff like that. So I'll have to go visit Trek Unlimited and get some of those tiki mugs then.
Oh, we should talk about the...
That's us in the...
there's some more merch. I'm not even sure the house shoe.
Dude, I love those slippers. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see the Enterprise panel on day one. They had Dominic Keating, Conrad Frenier, and Anthony Montgomery. Those guys are so funny in person. I like their panels more than a lot of episodes of their show, to be honest. But yeah, they really enjoy being able to have the warm reception that they get at the cons. Being the show that kind of for a long time was treated as like the black sheep of the Star Trek fandom.
Right.
At Starfleet Boy, I don't remember if you went with me to the panel that Bruce Gibson moderated, but it was it was for Star Trek comic books and novels. They had a couple of authors, and also our friend Jesse Gender was on the panel. But they had what's his name, John Jackson. They had Dayton
Miller.
Ward, and
I think it was John Jackson Miller, right?
John Jackson Miller, yes, and they announced the big news of the first Star Trek Strange New Worlds tie-in novel, The High Country, by John Jackson Miller.
Oh, wow.
I actually posted a very similar photo to this earlier today. So yeah, I totally was there with you.
I couldn't remember.
It's all right. It was a busy con.
Do you think it's going to cover, like why, what Pike was doing when he was like riding on that horse, like coming like down that snowy mountain? Like, is that what it's going to be
about? The
High
Country. It sounds kind of westerny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they're not wasting any time, getting the Strange New World tie-in material out. There is also a Deep Space Nine panel on day one with Alexander Siddig, Chase Masterson, and Nana visitors.
That's very cool.
And I guess we should talk about some of the Strange New World exhibit. The first thing you see when you walked in, it was the Vulcan stuff. They had some Vulcan concept art. They had Spock's Vulcan wardrobe, and I don't know why Ms. Nelson snuck in here, but that was later. That was when we were getting pizza on my birthday. That's all she does. She just
Amy
shows
well.
up when you least expect it. So everyone go follow Miss Amy Nelson on Twitter if you're not following her, and say
she's really cool.
Say
Miss Amy
Father
Nelson
A
is
says
wonderful.
hi. But yeah, we don't know who this character is. We think it might be T'Pring. That's unconfirmed, but
It's
according to
me.
IMDb, it is.
Is that an urn?
No, we found out what it is. Jurg said what it was. There's an analysis, but I haven't read it yet. Do you know what it is?
It's. I thought it was like a piece of jewelry or something. Or the.
Oh no, I'm talking
this
about
thing
that
or the
canister next to it. Yeah.
I do not know what the canister is. So if he figured that out, good on him.
It looks like an urn or one of those bank tubes.
Oh, it does look like a bank tube.
Oh yeah, the little vacuum thing sucks it up. Uh, one of the cool things though was the concept art in this little room. They had like the Enterprise concept art surrounding the model of the ship itself. So you got to get a good look. I love that John Eves redesign in the concept art. They also had the phaser and communicator props.
Our friend Trek on the Tube did not like that model, but he was in the rare company because most people were oohing and ahhing
Most
at
people
it.
like it.
Yeah.
I think it looks great.
A lot of the common consensus that I hear from a lot of people that I think Trek Yards were the first people to say it, but they said this is what the Kelvin movie redesign should have been instead of the Ryan Church version, and I definitely prefer this one. It echoes a lot of the sensibilities of the original series, Matt Jeffries' design. I love the kind of more detailed texture that evokes some NX-01 from Enterprise and kind of makes it feel like a little older. And then the blue chiller grills on the inside of the nacelles, I've always thought that was a cool idea. So
What are the red things called? It's something that starts with an E.
The Bizarre Collectors.
Blizzard collectors.
Oh look, I can't remember his name, but he's a really awesome cosplayer that you caught there on the picture. He has a cool Twitter and TikTok following.
I think this is our friend Johnny Brown back here, at Johnny Brown on Twitter.
Oh, that's
That's not-
Johnny in the back.
Where's Johnny? Oh, there's Johnny.
Right here.
I see Johnny, but next to him to the right is the other fellow that I was talking about. But there's
Dude,
Johnny. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if Johnny's watching. Hi, Johnny, if you're watching.
Hey, Johnny. I can't wait to see this guy.
Hemmer, our
yeah, he's
Anar.
cool.
Yeah.
It looks cool in this jacket. I like that they have like these field jackets when they beam down on some planets. They'll throw these on. That's what I want. Let me know when I can buy one of these.
And he's Andorian.
He's a subspecies of the Andorians called the
Called the
Anar.
Anar.
So they're kind of like albino Andorians, and they're blind. They're on Enterprise.
Mm.
We have the chapel and Leon Noonian Singh's wardrobe. And got some more pictures of the model. But you can get up close to a lot of the stuff and see it in
Where was that?
greater detail.
Is that in there too?
That was not in there. I added that on accident because I did this when I was really tired last night. I put this album together.
So that ship from Enterprise is the one that's in Picard. That's why you did that. That's
Right
funny.
here, you can see when they still had Mbenga's name, Chabilo, and they also had like the first name for Spock. Then they took that down and replaced it. They were like, "Oh, we didn't mean to put that on there." So that was a whole debate over the weekend. People were like, "Oh my God, they're giving
Spock's
Spock
name was
his
still
first
there
name."
on day 2 and 3. I felt like,
No, it
but on
wasn't.
the
They took it down.
Oh, they took it down.
They put out a
Interesting.
statement saying that was an accident.
Oh.
So what's Spock's first name, dude?
It's not yet. There won't be one. But in the novels, and I can't pronounce it right now. I have to look at it. But in the novels, it's been. I think Larry Nemechek was saying that Una McCormick made it as a joke.
No, that was Dorothy Fontana came up with.
Oh, sorry,
she
Dorothy
just like typed
Fontana.
some random stuff on the typewriter. It was like,
And
"That's his name."
so it was like a joke, and so, but it stuck. A lot of people want it to be canonized as his name.
Yeah, then
Oh, wow.
one of Mandel's books, I think the medical journal included it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've known about it for years, so I mean, like for many, many years.
here was the Spock name that they took down, but it was Shachin Tagay.
Oh, it's Takei. He's a Takei.
No, there's a G in there. It's
Oh, he's a Tagay.
it's Tagai.
Tagay. Oh my gosh, he's
Shachin
like
Tagay Spock.
Shin. See, I knew. I think it's pronounced Shin Tagay. Shinkai. But no, that sounds too like Asian. No, I don't know. I can't pronounce it correctly.
That does sound very Asian.
It does, but it also looks like Klingon. I mean, it also looks like Vulcan, of course, but I'm
Hmm.
down with Spock just being Spock too. I don't know, but it'd be cool if he gets a first name.
But
I want him to have a first name too.
I like the looks of the show they were showing us. The colorful energy of it, the concept art. I thought the designs are all strong. The uniforms are a little too busy for my taste. Boatwreck is telling us Spock's first name is actually Jeff. I'd be okay with that.
Hmm.
Daniel's saying, I love the Strange New Worlds Enterprise. I told someone that I think it blends the best elements of the TOS model and the movie refit model. Yeah, I agree with that. Go back a couple slides to you and I were speculating, Fathery, that the sickbay we see in the trailer is actually like on a starbase, and there was a image that you showed that shows a smaller sickbay, and I think that's the Enterprise sickbay. That one
Yeah.
there, yeah. So
I
I
think
think
that
this is
two-story job in one of the trailers. I think they're doing
yeah.
like a pandemic episode where like a lot of people get infected by some disease. Maybe they go to like a star base with a big hospital or something like that.
So just a
I
thought
could be
about those
wrong.
uniforms. Like, it seems like in the future, like everybody wears stretch pants, like no matter like what gender they are.
Yeah.
So like maybe in these 300 years, like people get like very like comfortable with their body. Like, you know what, dude? I would not want to wear stretch pants in public.
All these people are in good shape too, but
Yeah, I couldn't wear stretch pants in public either because it wouldn't hide some of my endowments. Just kidding. Anyways,
oh, I ran into our friend Jesse Gender on day one, so I got to
yeah,
meet Jesse.
Jesse was amazing at the convention. It felt like she was at 7 places at once. She took time, and when you spent time with Jesse, she really made you feel like you're the only person that she was interested in talking to. And I love her so much. And I just want to say it was so wonderful to meet her.
It
That
was
was
Jessie was legit everywhere, and she is a very, very nice person.
Hmm.
that was towards the end of the day. One of the things that happened Friday is that when I left the con, I had to go running back to my hotel room, which I stayed not near the convention center and had to take the train and the bus and had to figure that stuff out. And it was a lot easier getting there than going back. And I ended up on the wrong bus on the way back to the hotel. And I was like wandering around in the snow trying to make it back so I could do the Tex-Trek stream Friday. I did make it, but part in all the chaos of that, I was able to greet our friend Trek on the Tube who flew in Friday along with Braxton. So Saturday we had the honor of getting to hang out with them in person.
That's a great picture, by the way.
That
And we
is a
also had
great picture.
the thank you. We also had the lower decks panel. So I think one of the big highlights of me of for the panels, I think the top three were lower decks, Strange New Worlds, and oh my god, why can't I think of Prodigy, but especially lower decks because not only was Mike McMahon there, his first time being on stage as a showrunner at a Star Trek convention, but the lower decks cast were in costume. They were in
So
full
cool.
Cerritos uniform, and Jack Quaid had the purple hair.
Is the girl wearing the blue? Is she Tendy? Tendy's
Yeah,
voice?
no, Noelle Wells, but
Noah
she
Wells,
didn't
yep.
do the full Orion paint. She only had the green eyeshadow.
Okay. Hmm. Unfortunately, this is the panel that I missed because I tried to like go to the gym and then I was like late for just like everything. But everyone was like, "Oh, like that was like the best panel." It's like, damn.
Oh, and yeah, you did miss out because they showed not only that teaser that's up on the internet of season three that confirms they will steal the Cerritos to go rescue Carol Freeman, but also they showed a clip of it was the funniest. This was the most lower decks thing to do. But if anyone played that Star Trek: The Next Generation Klingon VCR game that has
Wait, are we
Robert
allowed to talk about
O'Reilly,
the clip? Or no? Okay, you're just.
I think we can talk about it.
I
We're not
thought.
supposed to talk about it.
I think they told us not to say anything. I didn't talk about it on my stream earlier because they told us. They said not to say anything, but I
They
don't
said
know.
not to
You do
record
what.
it.
Oh, well, okay. You do what you want. I will participate. I'll follow your lead, Father.
Why are we not supposed to describe that?
I don't
I
know.
don't
Are
really.
you there, Mike McMahon? Anyone from Lower Decks in
I
the
think we can
audience? Can
describe
you
it.
tell us?
I'll just
Can you guide us over
I'll just
here?
say I'll just give a little half specific, half vague description. But yeah, they're basically playing a future version of the Klingon VCR game, and they explain it. They're like, oh, this is like a Ferengi knockoff, and instead of uh, the fake Galron, it was kind of like a fake Martok. But
It was really funny scene. I'll just say that. Um, Also, Trekcore pointed out, Fathery, and I didn't even realize this. Maybe you already knew this, but season one's Lower Decks poster looks like the motion picture. Season two's looks like Star Trek Two, and season three's looks like Star Trek Three. So it's pretty cool that they've been doing that, and that they have a stealing the Enterprise kind of
stealing
theme.
the Cerritos instead of
Cerritos,
stealing
yeah,
the Enterprise.
yeah. Sorry, yeah, is pretty cool. So I like that there's this like symmetry between seasons and the films as well.
We had George Takei's panel Saturday, so all the active original series guys were there. We had Takei, Walter Koenig, and William Shatner, but
We did
Shatner and
not have
Koenig were both on a
Nichelle's.
Sunday.
Yeah, and we didn't have Nichelle Nichols. She's
She's
retired.
retired.
Yeah, and so we didn't expect to see her there either. But yeah, so that's just the. I feel very fortunate now that I've seen all the living legend Star Trek cast members in person. I didn't have any interactions like with them like at a booth or anything like that, but it was just great to be in their presence and hear them talk and tell stories and just to see what it's just it's just neat to see what someone's like in real life.
It is.
So
That's
it's
one of the
cool.
important things for me at these cons. I love seeing the merchandise. I love getting to interact with other fans. I love meeting up with friends. But one thing like you can't really do anywhere else is actually see and hear from these actors, and it's cool to talk to them if you get a chance to talk to them or ask a question at a panel. But also just being able to see them, I
Mhm.
think is
Right.
fun.
And a
And see
little
them when they're
tip
not
if
in
you
character and they're just saying what's on their mind. It's more insight than you typically get.
a little tip, especially with the more popular or in demand actors, if you want to have more than just a glancing interaction, try to get an autograph
Yeah, go to
because
the go to the
their
the
booths
autograph
and get
line.
us,
Yeah.
yeah, because they'll spend a little time just at the very least they ask you how your name's spelled, how you're doing, like there's like you get a little interaction. I had the fortune, this is such a huge moment for me, but I had the fortune of getting Evan Evagora and Michelle Hurd's autograph. I meant
Hmm.
to get Issa Briones
And
and
we visited
Annie.
with them for a little bit.
Yeah, and Annie Wershing, and I had like two touching moments with Evan Evagora. He actually knew who I was.
Can I say
What?
what it
Yeah,
was when
yeah,
when he
yeah.
was like
Tell me.
Starfleet boy? Ah, fuck, I know you.
That's a terrible accent, but it's great. A great impression. Terrible imitation of his accent, but a great impression. He was very like. I was pleased. And it made me realize too that like if you're like constantly like liking or just like interacting with these stars, they do remember. They do know. Like so, they do recognize your handle and stuff like that. And I'm not the only one. I heard things like that happening to. People would be like, "Oh, what's your screen name? Oh, I know that." Like, I guess we're a little lucky. Father, me, and Toddy all have like very brandable names, I guess, right? Tex-Trek, Starfleet Boy, and Trek on the Tube. Like those, I think they stick in people's heads. But yeah, that was a big who. Michelle Hurd, I didn't tell her this. Like, you're nervous around there, but like at the New York Comic Con, she said my name on screen
Yeah.
at that panel thing.
Oh,
But
did
she
she?
spent, yeah, she said Starfleet Boy asked this question
Yeah, she
and
was like,
like,
"Oh,
yeah,
this guy, he was really lucky to nab that Twitter
yeah,
name."
yeah, exactly. So that was pretty cool. But then in person, we really got to talk to her. We asked her a few questions. We got a little. We asked her some. We expressed how much we want the Motley Crew to have a huge part in season three. And just it was really nice to like be in her presence for a little bit and have a little chat. So yeah, I highly recommend getting autographs if that's the experience you want.
We also Starfleet boy. I think you missed this because you were busy, but Braxton and Sean and I went to the panel the Women at Warp did with Jesse Gender. I really like getting to meet the some of these ladies that I didn't previously know and getting to see the ones that I did know. But yeah, they did a really interesting panel, which I think they
Mhm.
might actually release as a podcast episode. But it was the one and onlys of Star Trek, like the characters that are kind of one of a kind. Um, and it was a lot of fun getting to hear their thoughts on that.
Yeah, that was a really good panel. I enjoyed hearing a lot of those ladies' perspectives.
We had some red shirt, a lower deck
Oh, such a
photography
fun
fun
picture.
with Jesse and Sean and me.
Was that at the panel, dude?
I think this was shortly after. Yeah, this is after they finished. We took this picture. Braxton, I think you might have been the one taking this picture, actually.
You know what, dude? You're right. I think I did take that picture.
That after that it was during the same time as the Discovery panel. That's one of the things that happens at these conventions. There's multiple panels going on, so you have to pick and choose what you want to do and when you can do what. And oh, if I go over here to get an autograph, does that mean I'm gonna have time to do this, or this panel and that panel's gonna be at the same time? But you kind of want it to be like that. Like you don't want it to be boring. You kind of between the two alternatives, I think it's better that there's so much there that it is hard to see and do everything. But yeah, we ran back to the main stage to catch the end of the Discovery panel. So they had Noah Averbach Katz, Anthony Rapp, uh, David Ajala, Mary
Ian
Chieffo,
Alexander.
Kenneth Mitchell, and Ian Alexander.
Yeah, it was pretty
So
cool.
and we
This was
talked
a
about
That was
rad
a good.
panel.
That was a good panel. I really
Hmm.
enjoyed hearing, some of Ian Alexander's perspective on, like Gray's like appearance and like hair and like style. Did you end up taking a picture of the David Ajala hug?
I missed it, but yeah, this one dude said at this panel to David Ajala, he said that his best friend died. I think he said in October, so that would have been right as Discovery season 4 premiered. And he said, watching Book deal with the grief of losing his family kind of helped him cope with the grief of losing his friend. And when he said that, David Ajala like jumped down from the stage and ran up to this guy and gave him this like really big hug. And David Ajala seems like such a sweet, friendly guy. At one point, he was just walking around the show floor talking to people. Uh, our friend Trek on the Tube was asking him some questions and taking pictures with them. And I didn't. I'll say this about him: like he's shorter than I thought he'd be. I thought he'd be taller.
Hmm.
But when I was talking to him, standing close to him and like made eye contact with him, he has like the most intense look in his eye. Like I felt like he was like staring into my soul. It's like some of these people have such like amazing faces, like these actors. Like you see why like they get jobs in Hollywood. But yeah, like they like also at one point, I saw Rebecca Romaine and the woman playing Uhura. Help me out, Starfleet boy. What's her name?
Um,
Celia Gooding, right?
Celia Gooding, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like the two of them taking some pictures and just like they're just like so naturally gorgeous. It's like, oh
Yeah.
wow, yeah, like that's why y'all become actors. Uh, but
But
yeah,
I totally agree. I thought that David Ajala was like 6'1" or 6'2", dude. It was interesting to see that he was like 5'9" or 5'10".
yeah. But yeah, he was really cool, and I hadn't, he's new to the scene, so I didn't know too much about him. But
Hmm.
speaking of Celia Gooding, she was there at the Strange New Worlds panel. So this was cool because they revealed a clip of that. We got to see the very first bridge scene
Yeah.
of the show. It looks gorgeous in action, like that set. It's so cinematic. It looks indistinguishable from like a movie. It's movie level
Yeah, dude. Just beautiful,
photography.
dude. Yep. I totally agree. And this was a great panel. Celia Gooding really surprised me. I didn't know really what to think of her, but she's such a smart, like engaging, spunky, confident young lady that I really like the actress. Like, hopefully, like her writing and stuff is good because I'm pumped to see her portrayal of that character. But the young lady is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard a lot of her voice because she's only been in, a couple trailers and they haven't shown like a ton of her dialogue. But one thing that I noticed immediately here, just hearing her answer some questions during the panel, So like her voice really channels a lot of Nichelle Nichols' voice, and I can, the more I see her, the more I can see her kind of channeling that character.
Hmm.
Also, Anson Mount is he's so much like Captain Pike in real life. Like before they showed the clip when he was talking to the audience, he was like, "Okay, I need all of you to do me a favor and put your phones away." So that we can show you something that no one has ever. You're the first people ever to see this in the entire world.
Hmm.
It's like he his like command of the audience, and then later when he was like, "Oh, by the way, let's get a round of applause for our sign language interpreters here at the front of the stage. They're just
Hmm.
doing a great job." It's just like, oh yeah, he's always just kind of on point with that
Yeah.
type of stuff.
I'm
He
sorry, I
very
had
much
to
has the
go.
qualities. He very much has the qualities of Captain Pike. Yeah,
Yeah.
he seems like such a good guy. Something else that I was struck by in this panel, like I felt like I was looking at Celia Gooding because she was like talking and saying something interesting, but then I was looking at Rebecca Romaine's legs. Damn, did Rebecca Romaine's legs look amazing?
She's so tall. Her and
Hmm.
Jerry O'Connell are just giants. Like their children must be massive.
Hmm.
They have two lovely daughters, and I don't think they're tall yet. But
And I was surprised that what aren't they like 13 or 14 or something? Like
oh,
um
maybe they're
girls
tall.
get
I don't
tall
know.
fast,
Yeah, that's true.
I was surprised that Ethan Peck is such a man of so few words.
Yeah,
Can
he
we?
seems very he's kind of reserved and maybe like introspective and thoughtful, but not like real yeah,
He's a
not
man
real
of action,
chatty.
not of words. Before we continue with the Strange New Worlds, I just want to back up for a second. You don't have to put the picture, but I also want to say that it was really cute that Ian Alexander made a PowerPoint presentation with like looks and stuff like that to inform
Oh, the
uh,
wardrobe, yeah.
yeah, to inform the wardrobe department of more gender neutral type of clothing and like things that they could play with and stuff. And they took all of his ideas and incorporated the not all but many of the ideas and actually incorporated them. So I thought that was like a neat moment. And then of course you guys already talked about the hug, but I just want to say that it was very special. You could see the cast actually welling up and becoming teary eyed.
I cried when that happened. I cried when he
Yeah,
hugged that
but
dude.
also no, but also just David, just Kenneth Mitchell, just like this could be his last convention,
Hmm.
and it was felt. It was
Yeah.
very felt, and
Yeah.
it was very special that he actually came out. And then my note is that after seeing Celia Rose Gooding in person, not only am I convinced that she's the right person to carry on the character of Uhura and bring more information to audiences, but I think personally her vibe to me is so much like Nichelle Nichols. Like they're both very smart. When Nichelle was like about Celia's age, when she was in, maybe she was older than Celia actually, but around this age, when Nichelle was closer to this age, she was like she was an activist. She was like, a trendsetter. She was pushing the envelope. She's done these like beautifully sexual, not sexual, I should say, sensual photo shoots. Nichelle Nichols did and stuff like that, and is not afraid of her
Oh yeah, yeah.
body
She
and
was
expressing
gorgeous.
herself.
There's
Yeah, and
really
expressing herself. And I
stunning,
feel
stunning
the
pictures of her.
yeah, and I feel the same vibe coming from Celia Rose Gooding, but in a more modern sense, like of her generation, if you will. So I think I'm just chuffed as all heck about her carrying on the Nichelle Nichols legacy as well,
Hmm.
which is pretty cool.
Is it
And
So
she
weird
was
to y'all
wearing a
that
super
there's
cute dress too.
yeah,
is it weird to y'all that we're getting so many like young actors in Star Trek? Because like for me, like growing up with it, I always picture like all these people in the shows, like they're all older than like they're the grown ups. I'm the kid. It's like weird
Hmm.
to me, like oh yeah, like people younger than me are actors in Star Trek now.
this is it, Fathery. This happens.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's
uh,
inevitable, right?
And can I just say something that part of the reason that I didn't like run around trying to meet celebrities this time, because I am interested in that stuff, but I observed so many young people interacting with them and just like the celebrities like really
Mm.
loving that. And so I felt as an elder statesman, it was my time to just go shopping and listen to the panels and look at the pretty artwork, and just let the kids enjoy that stuff. And I loved how young the audience the
for the
attendees were.
yeah
The,
yeah
you know, for this, it was all ages, of course, but I think, Father, you remarked that you know, like, you're starting to see a shift as you've been going to cons, like where you were the young person and now you're starting to get to be the older person.
yeah. I mean, part of that is just because like I'm older now, but I'll say like as recently as let's just like rewind the clock to 2016. Before Discovery came out, you know, Beyond was out. Yeah, like a lot of people were into the Kelvin movies, but as far as like the fan scene, like the people going to conventions and stuff, I was a baby. You know, I was 2016. I was 30 years old there, but like I'd go to conventions. I'd always be like the youngest person there. It'd always be like, you know, a lot of people in like their, primarily people in like their late 40s, 50s, and older. And I go to conventions now. You know, I noticed this starting in it really hit me in 2019 at Vegas, and then I saw more of it at the return to Vegas in 2021, and then the cruise I was just on, and then here. But each event I go to now, I see more and more younger people. And it's because, you know, the main thing that's changed is that we have new shows in production, and, you know, people are getting into these shows, people are discovering these shows, people are discovering the older shows, and it's connecting with them just like it connected to us when we were younger, and they're coming out to the conventions, and that is outstanding to see that.
One of the most rewarding things to do at the convention was there was like a younger person. She was cosplaying as Rutherford. She was so excited. It was like her first, you know, convention and stuff like that. And she was asking me technical questions and I was answering them and it felt so good. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, do you know how this works? Or do you know how that works? And I was just like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I recommend the Star Trek technical manual. Have you gone and visited Larry Nemeczek? Do you know who he is? Like, it was really neat to,
If you don't, his table is right over
yeah, it's
there.
right over there. And it was just, it felt so rewarding to be able to pass on these little tidbits and just like inform younger people of like some of the other things about Star Trek that they might be interested in. So it felt really great.
And there were some great cosplayers. We met our friend from Strange New Pod,
Yes.
Giraffe with one F.
Giraffe with one F, but it's lyrical giraffe. And what's her name though? We know her real name, so sorry. I will remember later.
I just call her Giraffe.
She's
She'll always
also
be Giraffe
to
to me. And, these ladies, like how they had like their 60s hair.
Yeah, very
I was
fabulous.
impressed
Very
with
cool.
that. So yeah,
That's cool.
people put effort into this. Look at this Captain America Borg. I mean,
Oh, real
Yeah.
quick, thank you. It's a Small World one. Says I feel you, Starfleet.
yeah. Thank you. It's a small world one for watching.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't see these guys actually. That's hilarious that they did. It's Borgified Avengers.
Well, I guess, yeah. I think that guy just really likes dressing up as Captain America, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna make it Star Trek for a Star Trek convention." This,
I loved
Braxton.
that.
Can I say what this guy said to you? Do you remember?
Sure. Yeah.
This guy said to Braxton, he said, "You look amazing. You should do some Samuel L. Jackson cosplay."
That I heard that actually. That was funny.
But
And
you
then
know,
I
but
wanted to
now,
say something rude, but I didn't say it.
and you know, and so, and you know, and now that I'm like looking at myself, like right now, it's like, you know, I don't look like Samuel L. Jackson.
No, you do not look like Samuel L. Jackson.
I think if you like put like a little effort into it, though, you could probably pull it off, like with like the eye patch and the trench coat from Avengers.
Braxton looks like Braxton. You should be on TV, Braxton. Like, you're a very handsome man.
Thank you.
Seeing Braxton in person was breathtaking, by the way. Now that you're not near me, I can say this, but it was breathtaking.
It was like so many people like gained weight and got in like bad shape during
Not
the pandemic.
Braxton.
Not Braxton, not this gym rat. He comes out looking like a prime specimen.
He looks like Starfleet. You know how they're all like working out all the time or whatever
Yeah.
to fit into those jumpsuits, like. And you handled your wardrobe malfunction with grace. It was awesome. We won't say what it was.
Hilarious.
Well, speaking of looking great though, here is
Mm.
Rebecca
Mm.
Romaine and Celia Gooding posing for some. I guess they were doing some promotional photography near the Strange New Worlds exhibit. But yeah, that was so cool because that gave us a chance to see them up close, and we also got to talk to Jerry O'Connell. I got a picture with him that Braxton took. I thought that was going to be the next slide, but instead it's
You
Stuart
know,
Foley from Trek Yards.
if I could just be critical for just a second, you know, if we could go back one, y- that dress was super. Oh, it doesn't go down far enough. The dress was super cute, but it was a little bit too short. And the
I
reason
didn't
I
think so.
say that
Oh, go ahead.
is
Well, you
because
talk.
you could see the tops of her pantyhose. You know how the tops of the pantyhose look like thicker than like the bottom part of it? So I feel like if you're gonna wear a short dress, you need to at least make sure that people can't see like the tops of the pantyhose. Like it has to
So,
be like
what if that's the style she was going for? Is like just you get a little. It's very suggestive, but
Mm.
also very what I
mm,
mean. It's like,
mm,
whoa, I see something different
mm,
here. These are the
mm,
tops of the
We're gonna
pantyhose.
do a fashion review show
We
now.
should do a
mm,
fashion. Oh
mm,
my god, we should
mm,
do an after
mm.
dark fashion of comic. I mean of whoa, I almost called it Star Trek
Mission
Chicago. That would be
Chicago.
so cool. Um, wait, I just want to say that this was really cool. How like they just walked over. It was Jerry O'Connell, Celia Gooding, and
Rebecca Romaine.
Rebecca
Mhm.
Romaine. And Jerry O'Connell hung out and just talked to fans while they were doing their little tour inside. And I finally got to tell so okay, can I fanboy on Jerry O'Connell on your show real quick,
Go
Fathery?
for it.
All right, so I've known of Jerry O'Connell since I was a little kid because he was in the movie Stand By Me.
Mhm.
So was Will Wheaton. A lot of people saw. I love these pictures that you're flashing. A lot of people saw that movie. And then I also used to watch the show My Secret Identity on TV, and it's about Jerry O'Connell plays a boy who gets superpowers, and so he can fly, he can like run really fast, he's super strong. He's basically like Superman, but like a kid or whatever. And it was just such a fun show, and I used to watch that. I think he's only like about 6 or 8 years older than me, so like you can imagine like he was near he was near my age. But then I watched Sliders when it came out, and then of course now he's in Lower Decks. So I'm like I was fanboying out. Like I've loved Jerry O'Connell. He's such a wholesome person to me. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't like force him to be wholesome. He can be whatever he wants. But to me, he's a very wholesome person, and like just someone I've always admired. So I got to say it to him. And I got to sing. I got to say the opening words to My Secret Identity to the song, and his smile got so big when he understood.
Oh
Like because
wow.
I was like, this is I said, Jerry, this is better than my imagination. This is more than a dream come true. And he just got so happy. I actually called him Mr. O'Connell. I don't want to be familiar, but he just got so happy and stuff. And then the other thing that was great is that he was giving selfies. There was a Did you guys notice the security guard who was there? And he wanted a picture with Jerry O'Connell, but then after his picture, he stayed in my picture, and then I asked for a picture without him, right? I felt bad about that, and I went and talked to the security guard later, and he's such a delightful security guard. So I actually didn't post the version of me and Jerry. I posted the one of all three of us because I wanted to remember how nice he was. So I'm actually glad that, and I can't remember his name. I'm such a bad person with names and stuff like that. But he was just like, "Oh no, no, please! If you want to post it, post it." And I was like, "Yes." And he had a really cool life story. I don't want to share that on air, but he was a really neat person. So I'm glad that happened. Just the whole thing surrounding Jerry O'Connell was very cool. So
Joe
it was,
Thomas really good natured and really funny.
yeah, yeah, he's
I was
hilarious.
mm,
And it's not
yeah.
like he was trying to avoid it. He was like, like turning him around to the crowd, like, does anyone else want a picture? Like he
He
was
was
asking
giving
for the
he
interaction.
was giving everyone so much attention. He was so approachable and just it was sorry, I'm just doing it again. And I'll confess something else. This has rarely happened to me. I went weak at my knees. I had to step away. My hands were shaking. I've never been in that kind of a state
Okay,
before. I
that's
was
a
like
little
really,
dramatic, but
it was, no, but it was true. It
I
was
mean, if
very
that's a
subtle.
reaction.
It was subtle, but that's the thing is that sometimes when you're in the presence of someone you really admire or whatever, you can get nervous, and that's what it was happening to me. Is I was very nervous.
But no, he's very handsome. Like, yeah, I understand that. Like, yeah, he's like kind of like an icon in his way. Like, I remember being a boy and watching Stand By Me. You know, I love that. I've liked Jerry O'Connell for a long time.
Okay, I
Uh,
finally found it. Sorry, I was trying to find the picture that Braxton took because I was very tired from traveling last night when I put these slides together because I wanted to get it out to our audience quickly and make sure they didn't have to wait too long to get this inside look to the con. That I somehow in my haste and sleepiness did not realize that I had left this out. So here it is.
That's such a good
there it
picture, dude.
is. Yeah,
Well, you
that's
took it,
awesome.
so
Yeah,
good for
yeah.
you. Yeah, we were twinsies, O'Connell
Braxton
and I.
also took my picture. I don't have it readily available to share, but it's on Twitter if y'all want to see it. By the way, wait, sorry, can you show that picture one more time?
One more time.
The reason I'm asking is because look at how cool those uniforms are for Lower Decks. This would be the closest we get to a
Mhm.
canonical, like not a canonical, but a live action version of what the Lower Decks uniforms might look like. I forget who they said made the uniforms, but it's someone who works on Lower Decks, right? Or someone who works in like the art department or
I
the
didn't know
sorry
who
the
made them,
wardrobe.
but they were tailor made by a
They were
professional.
tailor made, yeah. I mean, they look great. Like it looks great on Jerry O'Connell here. The only thing that's different is like the bottom. I always thought the boots were what had the stripe on them, but I guess I was wrong. So it's cool to see
Pants have the
that
stripe
the
on them.
pants
Yeah.
are what have the stripe on them at the bottom. But yeah, I like
Yeah.
that they're a
Wow.
little high watery.
Hmm.
They're like in
Yeah,
TOS,
my
right? You know.
pants look too long in this picture.
Yeah, now you know for next year you got to
I mean,
put stripes.
well, I typically wear boots, so
Yeah, yeah.
the longer pants would look a little bit better if I had my boots on instead of these comfortable shoes for walking the streets of Chicago. But
Those lower deckers are a spirited crew. You know, I
Yes,
like that about them.
yeah,
yes,
they were a lot of
yes.
fun.
Mhm.
It also I feel like that was one of the I think Lower Decks panel was very packed full. Like there's a lot of Lower Decks fans as well. So and a lot of folks were wearing. I noticed that a lot of folks were wearing the Lower Decks uniform as cosplay.
Especially on Saturday because that was the day
Yeah,
of the Lower Decks
the
panel.
panel. Yeah, it's true.
And Tawny Newsome was also I saw pic. I didn't see her walking the show floor, but I saw our friend Giraffe also got a picture with her hanging out. And Tawny actually said like, "Oh yes, I've seen you on Strange New Pod. I've watched that." So, Tawny, if you're out there checking out Tex-Trek or Starfleet Boy ever, please leave us a comment and let us know.
We would love
That would just make our day.
that.
Did you see her singing with Warp 5?
No,
Yeah,
Father did, but I did not, and I wish I had. That's so cool.
Was she a
They
good singer?
sang.
Which was your impression?
yeah. I mean, like she's a professional singer. So
Oh,
like
really?
she used to sing in a band I believe.
She has a band, by the way, currently, and her album's out,
Oh,
so you can check that out. She promotes it on her Twitter, and it's with a friend or her co-artist. I can't remember the name, but yeah, she has an active music career as well as an acting career.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
That's very cool.
I'm a huge fan. Again, you have to kind of pick and choose your experiences. So I was focusing more on the older folks, just because I don't know how long they'll be around.
sorry to say,
Uh,
but I wanted
but
to
I
mention that
really
earlier,
wanted to.
just real quick. If you haven't met these people, I mean, like it is good to go see them, hear their stories. If you want photo ops with them, get them because yeah, you never know when you'll get the opportunity to do that again.
Yeah, but so that's why I was really regretful because there was such a good opportunity to meet and talk to the Lower Decks cast. They were just so interactive and like ready to like mingle, so to speak. But I was in the room sitting in my chair waiting for the next. So it was like I missed out on that. But I am glad again, like I said earlier, that the younger folks got those experiences because that's really who that's for. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be something way more exciting for someone younger.
Well, and I was happy to see my friend Stuart Foley again in person. It was the second time I got to meet him in person. I saw him at Vegas in
Captain
2019.
Foley. I
And
heard we got a shout out on
yes,
on their stream.
so we want to shout out Trek Yards and everyone. If you go check out their content, they're always streaming and putting up new videos. They put out so much content. So go over there and leave a comment and say that we said hi to them.
Can I just say also that Captain Foley is really fun in person. He spent quite a bit of time with us. We just had a good little chat.
Yeah. And he
And
seemed tired. He had, been traveling from
yeah,
Toronto.
he drove.
He drove
He
in,
drove.
and
Yeah, yeah.
he had just been running around the convention like the rest of us were, and he seemed like he was like kind of tired. He still took the time to take. He took a bunch of pictures with us, said hi to everyone,
Yeah.
introduced
There's
us to the friends he was with. So he's very nice, very friendly in person, and I can say I've met Samuel, his partner on Trek Yards, before. Samuel is also just a delight in person. They are both incredibly friendly.
Yeah, it's very cool. So yeah, I'm glad that Captain Foley came out. I'm glad I got to meet him because he was one of the folks I wanted to meet. I told him that for me personally, like I've been watching Trek Yard since before, like I knew before the spark came to come on, and be a YouTuber and be a podcaster and be on Twitter. So I feel like them and a couple other people, Junkball Media is one I want to give a huge shout out. He has the funniest content, and I think also some of them are not as active, but the Irish Trekkie's been around for a while, and who else, Father? There's like a couple.
Yeah, a lot of the OGs.
Yeah.
Trexpertise.
Trexpertise, yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
Was an
100%
OG.
was an OG as well.
Yeah,
So yeah.
used to be there was no one on YouTube talking about Star Trek. Now there's we're a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
But used to be there's only a few, and yeah.
But it's a good dime a dozen. There's a good. There's
there's so much great stuff. It's
such
hard
good
to keep
Star
up
Trek
with
content
everybody,
out there.
but-
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean
so,
that's
yeah.
the problem you want to have.
Exactly.
I mean, it can make it kind of competitive to get attention, but I don't. I think we kind of all have like our own little niche that we contribute to. So
Absolutely.
infinite diversity, you might even say. What do you think of
Ooh.
Cool Guy Boimler? This
I
guy
thought
was
this
just
was
hilarious.
hilarious.
Yeah, we saw him Saturday night when we were ending the convention. Yeah, the two Boimlers. We decided these were the transporter twins from Lower Decks. And also our friend Larry. We got to hang out with
Yay!
Larry. When
Can I
Dude,
just
that's a great
say
picture.
that was another? Can you put that picture back on, please? That was just another one of my
the OG.
Yeah, Larry also, by the way, has been on YouTube for a very long time. You can actually find a video from like 10 years ago of Mike McMahon coming to his table and fanboying before Mike McMahon ever even dreamed of...
Before any of us knew who Mike McMahon was.
Yeah,
Larry
before any of
Nemechek
us knew who he was or anything like that. Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, Larry is legit the OG. He was on set, like as a kind of like a historian for a lot of productions, and he just has a wealth of knowledge.
Did the magazine, did the communicator.
Yeah. And despite all that like fame, he's super generous, very giving, like will show up on your show if you invite him. He's ready to... Larry's pretty awesome.
We've had him here on Tex-Trek. He's
Yeah.
been on Starfleet Boy.
In fact, he was at your birthday party, Father, which was so cool. Like,
He
how
was.
cool is that? I wish I had Larry Nemechek at my birthday party.
This is the beginning of this is the first of the 4 bars we went to, I guess. I mean, we didn't stay at the karaoke place, but we did go there. So yeah, this is bar number 1. Great people there. Look at Ian Mays back here. Parentheses
Ian
eyes.
showed up with his wife. That was cool. And there you can kind of see Arthur, our friend Arthur, over here as well.
This is the only picture where I kind of had everyone in frame.
Yep. That's Mick right there from Cineblend.
Yes, his last name, it's easier than it looks, but I've already forgotten how to say it. I think it rhymes with ghost. Jost.
Oh, like Colin Jost. Maybe he's like related to Colin Jost.
Yeah, could be.
We should ask him. And then this is a really weird picture because of the perspective. It looks like I'm in Toddy's face.
It looks like y'all are about to kiss.
None of those shenanigans happened, but but that's funny. We're ordering. By the way, can we go back to that? That was our meetup at the Arc Bar, and I just want to apologize to anyone who came to the restaurant. It was kind of a shit show. We didn't know what to expect, unfortunately. They were very understaffed. Larry talked about it actually on his stream today about how these hotel vendors were like, people go out. They don't stay in the hotels.
It's one of the drawbacks of Reed Pop doing the roaming convention like this, where it's a different city every year. I think there's advantages and disadvantages, but let's just talk about this for a second. We'll have this great picture of us up. If you liked Mission Chicago, I strongly recommend you do Star Trek Las Vegas at some point, because it was everything that was good at Mission Chicago. There's more of it at Las Vegas. There's more actors, there's more panels, there's more vendors, there's more people attending. and also just the nightlife, the restaurants that are there, the hotel, the bars that are there at the hotel, like they're prepared, they understand, and those servers, they're excited for, because they're like, oh, you Star Trek people, you're always so nice, you're the friendliest people that ever come here, you tip so well. I'm sure that's part of it, but they're prepared and they know, yeah, Star Trek people show up, and we'll spend a lot of money because we love to hang out and talk to each other and visit each other and be social like this. So yeah, that was kind of a shit show. These hotels were clear. This ain't the people that were there for the real estate convention or the vending machine convention. These other events. No, we met neat people doing these other things that were going on at the huge McCormick Center that can host all these multiple conventions at the same time. But those people weren't there as a celebration like we were. So yeah, the bars were unprepared. I ordered the Chicago traditional meal of a Vienna hot dog. It was,
and Father got his food last. Everyone got their food before him. It was terrible, and he ordered first.
Yeah, I got it like about an hour later after everyone else.
It was crazy.
So,
People were getting hangry. Braxton was ready to leave. Our friends, some of our other friends sat and then were like deuces. Some of our friends sat at the bar. And it was just like wild. It was a wild thing. However, there were a lot of Star Trek people there, and I think we overwhelmed the restaurant because, again, like Larry said, no one informed them that people are going to be sticking around
it's hard
the
to explain to people, the level of craziness that they're about to encounter. So
they were doing the best they could.
I don't know if it'll be like that in Seattle. I think there's going to be some things better at Seattle, but
I am so ready for Seattle. I am the king of Seattle. I love Seattle. I lived there for 3 years. I know exactly where I'm ready for Seattle.
Well, I think it is going to be better because it's going to be at a more lively downtown area instead of like the weird McCormick district that's not close to much.
Plus, I'm like a Seattle son. They adopted me. I know everyone in Seattle. We can just go anywhere and be like, hi, yay.
It's not going to be as expensive of a city. Like Seattle's expensive, but it's not like Chicago expensive.
No, it's not Chicago expensive.
But true. I just want to point out that I'm glad that they're doing a roaming convention and a locked in one place convention now with Star Trek Las Vegas not going anywhere. Even though it's not official anymore, it's still going to continue to exist, and it's just fine as it is. But, at Vegas, you'll have the place where, it is going to be kind of the same thing every year, and it is set up a little bit better, and the staffs know what to expect, the people going know what to expect. So you can still have that, but we're going to do this roaming convention also. That's going to be a different city every year because that allows people to have it, in their local neck of the woods. And some people wouldn't be able to attend unless it is nearby. That's why we were able to meet Ian, who was able to drive over here, and also meet Dan, who I think I'll have pictures of in a moment. But yeah, I don't have pictures of the birthday celebrations that took place that night. But it sounded like I had a blast. I don't remember much, but when you're doing a bunch of tequila shots, that can happen. But thank you, gentlemen, for taking care of me.
Hey, we're a crew, man. That's what we do.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Also, I am gonna write about. I have to tell you, I was inspired by that night because a lot of great things happen as a result of your birthday and the whole situation around it. I'm gonna write a speculative Star Trek story based on it because it inspired me so much. So yeah,
read it.
It was, and I to me, just the way the events unfolded, it felt like we were in a Star Trek adventure. Plus, we're all in uniform, so it made sense.
I guess I don't have much else except for the final day of the con and then the hanging out we did after that. But yeah, I was in my captain's jacket from Darmok.
I love the chair
Toddy,
vest.
For some reason, calls it the chair vest.
You know what he called the hideaway bed in your room?
What?
The couch bed.
Well, that's what it is.
I know, but that's how he is. He just sees things and
everything's named after furniture.
Yeah, it's like.
But we had the Prodigy panel. We also saw a Prodigy clip. They gave us. I won't go into details, but I'll just say it was Admiral Janeway. We get cool time with Admiral Janeway and even a member of her crew.
This was one of the best panels. This was truly one of the best panels. I mean, they were all the panels had great moments, but this was one of the best. Yeah.
Ben Ibon. And one of the Hagemans,
Dan.
Dan, the younger of the two. Of course, the star of the show, Dow himself, was there, and real life Janeway Kate Mulgrew. But this panel was another big highlight for me because of the children. They let like the little kids ask questions when they started running out of time at the Q&A
That's
panel.
what was the best
You're
part.
like, okay,
Yeah.
send all the kids to the microphone, and yeah, just the kids really love Murph. And look, here I am with writer producer Aaron Walke.
Yep, we all got to meet him, and he's so nice and so cool in person. It
He
was
is so
great.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's so nice.
He also is someone who stood around and talked to fans of the show and just like gave insights and perspectives and just had like nice conversations. Like I just found myself like I was trying to save my seat for the next panel, but I kept running out just to hear what he had to say. Like not even to ask him anything, but just to listen to the conversation because it was so interesting, and it was
Mhm.
really really cool.
And
But
he really feels like one of us. Like he
well, he
grew
is.
up a Star Trek fan.
Yeah, he's truly, he fits that kind of like that same mold that we're all part of.
Yeah.
And but also I just want to say I said this on my live stream. I did a live stream earlier with Toddy just because you guys didn't get him here, but also it was a different vibe. It was just we did a first timers type of thing. And sorry, Braxton, I know it was your first time too, but you were at work, so whatever. You didn't have the day off. So
Yeah, I was at work.
but we'll do something on After Dark too for first timers.
And
But
It's a Small World one is saying they need to do one in the New York, New Jersey area. I can promise you that's very likely to happen because Reed Pop has done stuff in New York before. So if that happens and we do go to it, you definitely need to hang out with us.
that's on my coast, so I would probably go to that one for sure. So I'd love to meet you. It's a Small World one. You've been really cool in the chats always. But going back to Prodigy for a second before you go to Mr. Shatner, I just want to say that Kate Mulgrew to me is the best ambassador for Star Trek. I feel like she's a
She
great
was so good with
success-
those kids.
Yeah, I think she's a great successor to William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy. Like I feel like she speaks the Star Trek the Star Trek language so well, and she's so good at expressing what Star Trek is about. And I think she is Admiral frickin' Kate Mulgrew as well as Admiral Janeway. She deserves that rank. And then so I love that women are more a part of the narrative now, and like that they have more of a thing. So I love that like she's kind of like the William Shatner, and the Patrick Stewart is Sonequa Martin Green. I like that like binary kind of not binary, but that like connection like between the two. So I love that.
Yeah, Dan Co is pointing out that she talked about the found families as part of Prodigy, and also the other Star Trek shows. That's definitely a core element, I think.
By the way, the
of all Star
screenshot
Trek.
the photo you have up here, that's the moment where she's contemplating, because the host mentioned found
moderator,
families.
yeah.
The moderator mentioned found families, and so this moment is like, and I love this photo actually because
She's very smart too. She's very like well read.
thoughtful, considerate. Like, I just loved her. She won me. She is my admiral. Like, she is my admiral. I
But
follow
imagine
her.
those kids. Imagine those kids, Starfleet boy, like their perspective. Imagine being 7 years old
And
your
getting
parents-
that moment.
Yeah, your parents are showing you this cartoon Prodigy, and you think Murph is cute, and the ship looks fun and stuff, and you get to go to an event like this, and Janeway is there, and she's talking to you, and she's like that friendly, and then like you grow up, and then you start watching Voyager, and then like the other Star Trek shows, like,
Yeah.
and then you have as a 7-year-old, you have like that experience, and like you just carry those memories with you the rest of your life, and I think that's so encouraging to see. Yes,
Hey, us 43-year-olds are gonna carry this memory for the rest of our lives too.
We
But
are,
yeah,
but
you're right. You're right.
It's going to live
It's
past
super
us. It's
impactful.
gonna, like
Yeah,
the younger generations are going to, we will have
No.
a Star Trek The Next Generation. It'll
I'm-
like a next generation of fandom.
I was
it will
filled with
come.
love and emotion and just like good feelings. That's the other thing. Shout out to everyone who arranged this con. The con has there's definitely lots of opportunities, lots of learn from reality situations. Don't get me wrong, but it was the safest I've ever felt. Like I felt completely safe at the con, and it was just endless amounts of fun. Like everyone was just there to have fun, and
Did you
that's
feel
what
safe
it was.
when Bill Shatner took the stage?
I did. I actually did.
You know,
I was worried
Shatner
I was
has
worried
got
that you were
Shatner.
going to ask a question, and I wanted to try to
Yelled
get
at
it on.
again?
I was ready. I was ready to record it and everything. Like if it happened, just to document it.
I'll say this about Bill Shatner, though. He is like the most energetic, healthy 91-year-old I've ever seen in my life. You know,
He looks great, dude.
it probably pays to be that rich and have access to like the best healthcare in the world. And
Yeah.
but you know, he's very energetic. He's very much, you know, he stays active. He was talking about his Blue Origin adventures, but he also told like all these other stories about like the last time he was in Chicago, he was riding a motorcycle across the country. I don't even know like if these stories actually happened or if that's just how he's remembering it or what, but he definitely like brings a lot of energy to it. He's the type of dude, you know, he'll do a Q&A panel, but he's only able to answer 2 or 3 questions because his answers to a question are like 20 minutes long. But yeah, I don't know if it is gonna look
Sweet.
right on screen, but there is a. How do I put this on you?
I could
Starfleet
do
Boy,
it. Here,
change it to
change
full
it to
screen
me.
for you.
All right, here we go. Hold on. All right, so here's my William Shatner moment. And this was very interesting. It was very cool how they did this. But yeah, there's me with William Shatner. I have a digital version. I'll share it later. But it was cool. But yeah, going back to his panel, it was pretty all over the place and kind of wild. It was like I didn't expect it to be that, and it was funny. It was very humorous.
That's a nice pick.
Pastel Pirates asking if she got here late, and yeah, we've been talking for about like an hour and 16 minutes. But you know, you can always go back and rewatch. But we're talking about like the last day of the convention, Sunday. I got to meet Kennedy, one of the women at Warp that I was very excited to meet. I've been listening to her on the podcast for a long time, and I think she's very smart and very funny. And I'm glad that I got to chat with her.
Can I say that is a flawless Klingon? I didn't get to see it in person, and I'm really disappointed.
She had the hair and everything.
I
Yeah,
love
she
the
looks
hair,
amazing.
dude.
Look at her.
It looks
Wow.
amazing. Starfleet
Braxton,
Boy,
you
should
took
get one
this
of
one
those.
too. This is another Braxton photo, I think.
I did take that one.
Did Kennedy post these yet? I have to go back on her timeline and check it out or like other photos because she looks hot. Like
She does,
she's
dude.
like screen ready. Like she could walk on set and just be a Klingon on any Star
But she was
Trek.
like in character too.
Yeah.
And
And I
like,
feel
oh yeah, it's my birthday. We were out so late last night. I don't even remember what happened. She's like,
I don't know if we
yes,
have any
I'm sure
influence.
the libations were most enjoyable, or you know, some shit like that.
I don't know if we have any influence, but if anyone in the audience does, please get this in front of Star Trek and tell them that they need to put Kennedy on screen in a Star Trek playing a Klingon or whatever she wants.
Oh, this picture is so funny because I'd been trying to find Bruce Gibson. He does the Positively Treks podcast.
Yeah,
with
he's
Dan
pretty
Gunther.
awesome.
Before that, they used to do the Literary Treks podcast on Trek FM. That's where I first came across them, but I had never actually talked to Bruce much, and I'd never met him in person. And
Why does
so
Father look like a baby version of himself?
I was looking at my phone and I was getting ready to take a selfie, and then I see on my phone Bruce Gibson is sitting behind me. He's actually messaging me like I'm right behind you. So I saw him and then I turned around, started talking to him, got a picture with him. So Bruce,
awesome.
if you're seeing this is very nice getting to meet you. You were as wonderful in person as you are on Positively Treks. I highly recommend that show. And also he moderated the Trek Beyond the Screen panel that I mentioned earlier.
Right on.
And did a very good job with that. And this is Bonnie Gordon, who she's friends with our friend Aaron Harvey.
Aaron Harvey, shout out to Aaron.
She is also the voice of the Protostar computer on Star Trek
wow.
Prodigy.
Bonnie's so awesome too. I loved meeting her. I have to sometimes you get to these conversations and I forgot to get a selfie with her too, but yeah, she's really awesome. She spent time with all of us and just talked and just gave everyone her perspective, and we talked about the computer voice tropes, that Star Trek has, and like I was wondering if she would get I just want Star Trek to give her
And she's
more
a
computer
legit
voice
Star
stuff.
Trek
It's
fan.
cool.
Like
she is.
she watched Star Trek before she was working on it. Like
She was on those improv, right? Those hilarious Star
I
Trek
think she was an
improv
actor.
things.
Yeah, she does that. I think that's how she knows Aaron. But I think she was also an actor at Star Trek Las Vegas like the Vegas Experience back when that was a thing.
No.
Yeah,
Oh
That's
wow.
cool. Wow, very cool.
yeah, and she does a lot of voiced work now. Like she didn't do it in front of me, but I've heard her do like a baby voice, like when she's been on podcasts and stuff. It sounds like freakishly like a real baby. It kind of disturbs me. Oh, then this is the after the convention on my birthday Sunday. We went out and got some deep dish Chicago pizza, very authentic from Giordano's. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
I can never say it right, but yeah, there is that beautiful pizza pie.
There's our friend Daniel who's in
And
the audience
Dan,
still, I
CO,
think. Yeah.
Dan, if you're there, we got a picture of you on screen, so please say hi.
Dan, thank you for doing this, by the way, and hanging out with us. Father, spilled a beer on your lap and everything.
I
Like,
did.
it's just like.
Well, no, it's kind of the server's fault. She was setting these massive pizzas down, and I was trying to get the beer glass out of the way because it was being tipped over.
By
But
the way, Daniel, I meant to comment earlier, but thank you for the very nice blessing that you sent on my stream earlier. So thank you.
and thank you for instructing me on the ways of consuming deep dish pizza.
I did not. I was
You gotta
so.
eat it with a knife and fork.
I was so
I've never
ornery.
ate pizza like that.
I was so ornery and contrary. You can see over there, I'm eating spaghetti and bolognese sauce. Everyone else is eating deep dish pizza.
So hell, if you came to Austin and we went to a barbecue place and you did not get brisket, I would lose my shit.
Father, I can tell you this right now. There ain't no way I ain't gonna get brisket.
Okay.
Like,
Good to know.
I will never say no to some good brisket. I will tell you
Or
that.
if I take you to like a Tex-Mex place and you're like, I'll have the cheeseburger.
There will be no way that that'll happen.
Okay.
Trust me. Trust
Good
me,
to
that
know.
won't happen. No, I think I was stuffed in a different way. Like, I think I'd had too much cheese. I had pizza every day that I was in Chicago, remember, at the hotel? We
Yeah.
had pizza and
You
stuff
got
like
tired
that.
of it. Yeah, that's
So I just got
understandable.
tired of it. And I've had Chicago-style pizza before.
And here's the picture I snuck in at the end of Tawny.
By the
on
way, this band
stage.
is called 5 Year Mission, and they're great. They rocked. They would like entertain people in between the
panels.
panels, and they were just really great. Ah, here's
Oh,
my panel.
I have some pictures here of the product. Somehow I skipped that Picard panel, but yeah, they had the
Yeah, I was
Picard
wondering.
panel.
I was like, did Father skip the Picard panel for a reason? I was gonna say, I don't know.
I don't have a ton to say about it. They had already let out like the big Picard news. They only had handful of the actors. I had a great experience, with Starfleet Boy when he got his autographs with Evan and Michelle, and it was cool getting to see the Borg Queen Annie Wershing in person
Yep.
because this is kind of her first con after debuting as the Queen. But it was mainly like Issa Briones and Evan Evagora telling the same stories. I just heard them tell on the cruise and at Star Trek Las Vegas. I don't know. I didn't like this as much as the Prodigy or Strange New Worlds or Lower Decks panels. But I'm glad I got to see them. But yeah, did y'all have any other thoughts on the Picard panel?
Yeah, I have a, I have a few. Braxton, do you want to go first?
Oh, sure. So I was super impressed with Michelle Hurd. That she's so charismatic. I really enjoy hearing her perspectives. And I also enjoyed Issa Briones as well.
Picard is my show. I love this show. I wanted more, but what we got was enough. It was pretty awesome. And again, just like other than Issa Briones, like who I was too late to go get her autograph, unfortunately. So Issa, I will catch you at the next one. I hope you're there. But seeing the panel was awesome because one of the things that's really great about just all these panels and meeting the actors is you get to really see their personalities and how they're different from their characters. So you get to see the acting, if that makes any sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you get to see like how Issa Briones is as herself, and then you're like, damn, she's really good because she's like so different as this character. Same thing with Evan Evagora. Although I feel like Evan Evagora is Elnor. like to me, it's just like he embodies Elnor, but no, he's different. He's like a kid. Like he's a different person. Elnor's very serious and stuff like that. And the same thing for Michelle Hurd, and and as well as Annie Wershing. But it was just a pretty delightful little panel because once they got comfortable and started having fun with each other, it was just cute to hear them interact. And it reminded me so much of the way that the TNG cast interacts. And I have to say, I have like huge feels for this because I love that. Like, you know, when the TNG cast interacts, they just seem like they're good old friends, and they're telling us stories like the way you would tell a new friend stories about, like when you join a friendship group and they're trying to tell you who they are, telling you stories. Like that's what it feels like, and so it felt very much like that. And then it just gives me a lot of like even more kind of anxiety about season 3 of Picard because I don't want the Motley crew to be downgraded, you know. But I also do want my TNG crew back
when
in
they
action.
put Jonathan Frakes and Denise, or not Denise Crosby, I don't think she got the invite, but Gates McFadden and Marina Sirtis and Michael Dorn and LeVar Burton on that screen together, I don't think you're going to complain. You
No,
of all
I know.
people.
Yeah, I won't complain. It's true. You're right. I'm already gonna start crying thinking about
Yeah,
it.
like all those people I just named, not in attendance at the con. They were
Yeah.
actually doing another convention in Philly, right?
Yeah,
I'm
they,
sure.
yeah.
Mhm.
So that was
Very,
one of
very
my
weird.
that was one of the things that I don't know, you know, again, I don't want to like I don't have any idea how these things are run, or I don't want to like, you know, cast any kind of like, you know, major critique, but I will just say as a fan
We
I
can
was
cast critique on,
Well, I
on
was just
Reed
saying,
Pop. I
not
think
a major
they,
one,
they need some
because
feedback.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I think one learn from reality thing that I would want is that like I feel like the lead, like I would have liked to have known more about who was going to be there ahead of time, more about like the schedule and like the layout and everything like that. But also, I think they should have not overlapped with this other convention, you know, that these people were already booked for. My impression from what I saw on Twitter. That being said, there was also my impression from what I saw on Twitter is that some actors were not even invited. And like, so for example, the people I missed on the Discovery panel, I thought like, oh, maybe they're busy too. But it turns out some actors were just not even formally invited. So I would have loved to have Wilson Cruz at the panel, you know. Sonequa Martin Green did fly in to do photo ops, so that was cool. So she must have been busy. She couldn't do the panel either. But yeah, it was a little, it was a little, surprising that they weren't there, and then I'm learning all these things, you know, on the side that like maybe some folks were not even invited. So I hope Mission Seattle learns from reality,
Yeah.
you know, learns from the experience and like gives fans more of what they want.
You know, Reed Pop is used to doing conventions for the other Star franchise, and they do things very different. Their fandom is very different. You know, we want to see all these actors. You know, Creation invites everyone for Vegas. They
Yeah.
always get like over 100 actors to show up.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. That's kind of like a really good bar, you know, like that's like the kind of the expectation, I guess, right?
Yeah, and you know, we want, you know, don't schedule it this when one of the most popular shows, arguably the most popular show, has all of their actors appearing somewhere else. Like oh, well, just, you know, do it like a different weekend or something when you're setting it up. You know, they wanted it to be around First Contact Day, but I noticed they're doing the Seattle convention in late May. So I think that might be something that they've learned. And can I just, while we're on the subject of like criticism, get a different dude working the crowd before those panels?
You didn't like him? I thought he was great.
No, I hated him. First of all, he kept saying Star Wars instead of Star Trek. So he couldn't even get that right. But like some of the comments he made,
I think he was a comedian, so I think he was doing that stuff to goad the audience. But
Well,
anyways, but carry on.
he like some of the people I was sitting around were not having it.
Yeah, I saw that too. Actually, I did see that too. His
I
humor.
saw that he also like he made some remarks about George Takei that I think didn't go over very well.
Oh, I didn't catch
Oh,
that.
like what?
Well, he called him a fruit, and then like when the crowd booed, he was just like shut up, you know, kind of like brushed it off like that.
Mm.
He
I didn't catch
also
that.
like
Then.
he was asking people like, what show do you like? Who likes the original series? Who likes Next Generation? Who likes Deep Space Nine? Who likes Enterprise? Who likes Voyager? And then like when he got to Discovery, he's like, who likes the terrible one?
Oh,
Or like he's like threatening to people. He said like if you try to record any of the footage we put on the screens, we're gonna take you outside and make you watch the first 10 minutes of the motion picture over and over again.
He
Like,
should have said the first
people
30
like the
minutes.
motion
No,
picture.
I know. I love
Like,
the flyby Enterprise.
we
flyby.
don't need him like up there on stage, you know, warming up the crowd. Like we already love our actors. We're
Yeah,
already
it's
like
true.
well behaved. We're already there. You know, we're excited to see these people. We're not Star Wars fans, you know. We're not people. We don't come there to be hateful.
Well, some of
to
us are
anything.
Star Wars fans, but we're there to be there
We're there as
we're
Star
there
Trek
to
fans,
enjoy,
though.
celebrate Star Trek. I get it. Yeah,
It's different,
It's
and
true.
I don't think he really understood the Star Trek crowd. You know what they do on the cruise? They get some of the actors that are good at this type of stuff to do, like to moderate panels. Like Chase Masterson, I got to see her moderate panels. She's really good at that stuff.
I would, yeah, like for example, why not have someone like Max Grodenchek, pay him to warm up the crowd, like
Yeah, he's great. He's entertaining.
he's great
as
at
hell.
that too. Or
And you know what? There's a lot of really good content creators out there.
Yeah,
And people that have worked with Star Trek on a professional level already. Like let's get like Larry Nemeczek out there to
oh my
moderate
gosh,
panels.
Larry Nemeczek, yes.
Let's put his name out there as a.
But
contender.
I feel like that's something that that I felt was missing. Is I expected to see that barbershop quartet that the DS9 guys do with
the Rat Pack,
the Rat Pack.
It's gonna be a Vegas thing though. I bet they do it in Vegas.
They do it in Vegas.
They actually get invited to that con. So
yeah. So I now where I thought maybe that actors were not available. Now I'm wondering if they just never got invited. So that being said, again, as my first convention experience, I considered it awesome. But the main reason for that was just like bringing into reality this 2-dimensional virtual world of friendships. Like that was the most
that's what was most special to me about this. You know, I had just gone on the cruise. I had just gone to Las Vegas back in August, but I didn't have Braxton there or Trek on the Tube there or Starfleet Boy there. And so the fact that I had y'all with me for the first time, like it really made this a special convention experience. And I'll always cherish that. I'll always be thankful for my 36th birthday when I got to have that.
Oh, came for the Trek, stayed for the friendship.
There you go.
Came for the Trek, stayed for the friendship. I love that. That's amazing. Look at all these like smiling faces and LLAPs. This is a great picture.
It is.
And with the one and only Dan CO included with us.
We cut our little Reed Pop things off. Braxton posted a cute little picture on Twitter about like mission completed, right? That was cool. Oh, you didn't talk about Walter Koenig either.
Oh wait, yeah, that was the last thing. I was saving it for last.
All right.
So I'm gonna say that my absolute favorite moment, is it gonna make me?
Do you have the video of it? I have the video if you want me to play it.
Can you share it? The audio?
Yeah, hang on.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna show that on Starfleet Boy's end. I'll just describe it first, but because it was such a personal thing for me, I asked Walter Koenig a question at his panel on Sunday, on the last day, on my birthday, and that is, a lot of people primarily only know him as Chekhov, but he was also a writer, and he wrote an episode of Star Trek. He wrote an episode of the animated series, The Infinite Vulcan, which very famous, or perhaps even infamously, has the crew of the Enterprise encounter a clone of Spock, but not just any clone of Spock. It is a giant Spock named Spock 2. Mm-hmm. And Walter wasn't able to be a voice actor on the animated series. He didn't get hired to reprise Chekhov. So that was like his one contribution to that show. And Lower Decks pays a lot of tribute to the original 70s animated series whenever it can. In season 2, they show the dead remains of Spock 2 in the collector's museum of his collection. And so I asked Walter if he was even aware of that and how he felt about it.
Here, I'll just put it on. I got it ready to go. You ready?
Go for it. In addition to playing Chekhov, you also wrote an episode of the 1973 animated series, The Infinite Vulcan, that had the giant Spock clone. I just wanted to ask you, are you aware that the current animated show, Star Trek Lower Decks, they actually showed the skeletal remains of dead Spock 2? Did you know that, and how do you feel about that?
No, I did not know that. All 25 feet of him? Or?
Yeah, he's on display in a museum, dead.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
You can hear Starfleet Boy's familiar laugh.
And that was fun, except that I didn't know that Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah, he goes on to talk about the
deeply
rewrites.
involved in every single episode.
It was
that
not actually a
written
fun
for Star Trek.
experience for him
He
writing that
had a
episode.
hand in the writing, no matter how
Yeah.
brilliant it was to begin with.
You want me to turn it off here?
He had
Yeah, you can go ahead and
it's his
stop
baby,
it.
And
All
I
right.
guess that was his
But-
prerogative.
The cool thing for me is that somehow no one had told him that, and I thought someone should tell him. Someone should tell him that they brought back his idea in one of the new shows. So that was really cool that I had the opportunity to tell him that, and his reaction to it, like really, like he was surprised. All 25 feet of him. That's amazing. You know, he was excited.
And to be fair, he did admit to having like a lot of memory problems, so it's possible Mike McMahon told him, and he
And
was
he
like,
forgot.
and he totally forgot to like when you told him, he remembered it again.
No, don't take this away from me, you bastard. Let me keep this one. If he does forget, I'll remind him.
That's your joke.
every
At every
con.
con, you'll like,
He's gonna be like,
Walter,
ah,
did
shit,
you
it's
know?
this guy.
He'll be like, did you tell me that last time?
The reason why people were like cheering and laughing at the beginning is because he said Austin is a great city when I told him I was from Austin, Texas.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Sweet.
Well, that's all I got. Do y'all have any final thoughts or anything else you want to comment on about the convention before we call it a night?
I just. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say that I was impressed by just like all the love. Like when I think of Mission Chicago, I just think of like love, like the love that like the audience has for the actors and the shows, the appreciation that the actors have for the fans, like Michelle Hurd, you know. Anson Mount, George Takei. You know, I remember like those actors talking about how Star Trek has changed their lives. You know, and how part of that is the way that the fans like love them and feed them like kind of like emotionally and like pick them up. You know, Annie Warshing was talking about like the reception that she has received from fans and how it's made her feel, So, yeah, when I think of, Mission Chicago, like I just think of like love, I had a great time. I'm so glad that I went to the convention, but really, like, like for me, it was just like hanging out with you guys, dude. I had such a good time, like that was just like everything,
Yeah, for me, it was a combination of like, you go to, I don't know what it's like for other folks, but for me, I was going there to, have my first Star Trek convention experience to like learn more about the actors, to like get some merchandise and stuff like that. But just like what you said, Braxton, I couldn't have said it better. What I found was like, I guess I'll just use Kate Mulgrew's thing is this is my found family. I felt like I belonged somewhere. Like I completely felt like I belonged. Like I didn't feel at all ever like I don't belong here, and every single person was embracing, interested, curious. I was interested, curious, embracing of every single person that I met. I wanted it to keep going. It was just like the coolest 3 days of my life as a Trekkie, and I've never experienced bonding and friendship in this manner, as well as a way to show my gratitude for something that I really love. It felt like Star Trek in action. It felt like if more people get onto this vibe, and if more people act this way, that like that future that Star Trek depicts could actually be a real thing. Because what I witnessed, at least in those 3 days, was just like that. We saw the United Federation of Planets in action in one place, and that's how it felt. Like people from all walks of life, all different experiences, all different races, all different like mindsets came together and just were able to be in harmony and love each other and have fun and celebrate, as Father said, Star Trek. So yeah, that's what it meant to me.
That's great. I don't have anything to add other than you should be following Starfleet Boy on all the things, and you should keep checking out Tex-Trek because we do episode reactions live every Friday, and you can listen to those as a podcast also. And Starfleet Boy on his channel, he's going to be doing TOS episode discussions on Saturdays, and then Picard discussions on Sundays.
At 2. Yep.
And he also does some fun stuff on Twitter, including some spaces over there where you can go and join in the conversations.
Yeah, space on Thursday. Thursday at 9. After the latest Picard drops, and this is going to be a big one, guys. Monsters. I feel like this is going to be a very big episode of Picard. So, well,
Dude,
you'll
I'm not
see.
ready.
You'll hear us break that on
Thursday
Twitter
night.
Spaces, but you'll really get a deep dive on Friday night on TQIF when Father does his presentation on Tex-Trek. So, go and check that out. And then, of course, After Dark, we'll talk about all the other stuff like Halo and who knows what else.
Oh, yeah, did you get caught? Moon Knight? There's Moon Knight.
I saw
also.
the second episode of Moon Knight. Pretty interesting.
see
And
that.
I hope Superman and Lois has a new episode. I'm not sure that they do.
That release schedule is so whack.
Whack, yeah.
But yeah, so thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, live long and prosper.